What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you an update to Mementos. Now I really do love the artwork on Mementos, and they got two brand new cards, one of them being a boss monster for the extra deck and one of them being a main deck fusion option in the form of the Mystical Sheep 2, technically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the profile, show you what we've got, and then at the end of the video I'll show you the one card combo, which now just gets stronger and stronger as we go, which is really nice, just to kind of see how it evolves. And with the brand new boss monster, you now have a quick effect in order to kind of interact with your opponent and then pop cards you control and they control as well. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So diving headfirst into the profile, we'll start off with Triple of the Angle Witch. This is like one of your ideal starters alongside the Darkblade. Unfortunately, these cards have now started to go up in price as these were in one of the deck building sets. Now obviously the Darkblade, not so much as it's a super rare, but the Angle Witch and the Bone Party, which is both like your consistency cards and your starters, have unfortunately started to go up. So if you haven't been able to pick these up now, you might need to be waiting for a reprint unless you desperately want to play the deck. Then of course we've got 3 of the Tatsu. This is one that I'm always considering cutting down, but I've kind of made the deck a little bit more focused on only controlling the Mementos, which you can do a little bit more now that you've got the brand new boss monster. So playing 3 of this is pretty, like, I'd say it's necessary, but there are times when I kind of want to play the Mace at 2, but I recycle this quite a lot anyway, but it's entirely up to your own personal preference. Everything else then becomes one-offs. So you do play the 1 Horned Dragon, the 1 Mace, the 1 Gatic, the 1 Goblin, and now the brand new 1 Sleepy. So Sleepy is during the turn a monster in your possession was destroyed by card effect, you gain a quick effect to special on this card from the hand. If it is normal or special, you get to fusion summon a Memento fusion monster from your extra deck, use a monster from the hand or field as material. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to send a Memento monster from the deck to the graveyard except itself. And obviously the whole idea of the Mementos is to send and destroy loads more of the other options and then be able to spin them all back with your main deck boss monster in the form of the combined creation. So the ideal end board of this will be the combined creation plus one, if not both of the trap cards and the field spell and your brand new combined creation boss monster as well. So it is very, very consistent and very powerful, but it is very linear and it is very direct in what it needs to do. Like, you do need to be very careful on what card you send and when you send it, because that's really going to dictate how you can get to the combo at its maximum end board. Moving on to the spells, of course, we do play Triple Bone Party. This is one that's probably the most expensive right now. So this one is a quick effect as a spell card. You get to destroy 1 Memento monster in your hand or face one on the field to take a Memento monster from the deck with a different name and either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense. So again, it's just 3 more consistency cards in order to turn any of your Memento monsters into your Darkblade or your Angle Witch. Then during the main phase, you get to banish this card from the grave to target a Memento monster you control. If it attacks the defensive monster this turn, you inflict battle damage, piercing battle damage. And then we've got 2 Memento Fusion. You can play this at 1 if you want to. I quite like playing this at 2 because what a lot of people forget is this lets you get into any fusion monster as long as you use a Memento monster, which is why we are playing the Guardian Chimera in the extra deck. So during the main phase, you get to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monster from your hand or field as material, including a Memento monster. Then if a monster or monsters in your possession was destroyed by card effect, this turn you can also shuffle Memento monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. During your main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard to destroy a monster you control, and if you do, add a Memento spell or trap from the deck to the hand. You can only use each effect once per turn, so obviously you've got so many different targets you can search off with the Memento spell. Probably you're going to be more so going to the Bone Party anyway. And then the last one-offs that we play is the 1 Memento field spell, the 1 Cranium Burst, and the 1 Fracture Dance. Like, you actually set these up very easily now, thanks to the brand new sheep, and of course the combined creation fusion monster, so it is pretty straightforward on that one. And then I'm still running the Speedroid engine. I just feel that this is really kind of cool. So this was Squiddy that actually showed the first use of using the Terratop engine. But the idea is you use 3 Terratop, 1 Tuckentime Borg, 1 Dug Charger, 1 Grand Entrance. And the idea is that your Grand Entrance can get you access to your Memento Goblin and you can summon that down. Now this is a 6-card main deck engine and it gives you the option of playing like 4 kind of cards in your extra deck. So you wanted to change it around and take it out. These 6 cards can very easily become 3 more hand traps, and then it can also become 3 Pot of Prosperities. So it kind of gives you that ability to play around with it a little bit more should you want to, but it really is up to you on your particular playstyle and how you'd want to do it. Carrying on with the extra deck, I'm just going to shuffle this around, there we go. So carrying on with the extra deck, we are playing a range of hand traps, so again you can adapt these as you see fit, but I've gone with the 1 Draw Unlock Bird in the main deck. Again, if the environment is more affected to it, then you play more, but the reason I'm playing only 1 Draw Unlock Bird is I am also playing Crossout So again, these are your subject options. You can change these into talents if you want to. My kind of idea is that the combo is so direct with everything it wants to do that you need to protect your normal summon where at all possible, which means you need to protect it from all of the hand traps. So the hand traps you're trying to protect it from will of course be Ash Blossom and of course Imperm, and then of course you do have the one Call by the Grave to deal with it as well. Now like I said, you can adapt this lineup as you see fit. You can also adapt the Teratop engine up if you wanted to as well. You could look at Nibiru's. So technically what I'm saying is if you wanted to take out the 6-card Teratop engine, I would then consider putting in 2 to 3 Pot Prosperities, and then you'd also be looking at stuff like Nibiru as well. But that's entirely up to you. And then the hand trap lineup is really down to the environment you're taking it to as to what will be the most effective kind of element that you can change or utilize against. So if you worry about Veilers, Mourners and everything else like that, then you'd consider those as targets as well. Moving on to the extra deck, we do play 2 of the brand new. Now, I'm going to have to read this one from the hand because it's got such a long name. So it's like Memento, Cillian, Tekachilia, Creation King. I don't even know. Like, I'm just going to go with Creation King because my days. Anyway, it requires 3 Memento monsters and you can banish this card from the graveyard to add a Memento from the deck to the hand. Now, it's any Memento from the deck to your hand, so it means you can add a spell trap if you want to as well, as long as it has Memento Cillian in its name. So it needs to have the Cillian, which is obviously what's different from the rest. You cannot activate the following effects of the Creation King in the same chain. So if this card is fusion summoned, you get to send 3 Memento cards from your deck and or extra deck to the graveyard. And then you have a quick effect to target an equal number of Memento monsters you control and cards your opponent controls and destroy them. So you obviously got the quick effect that the more Mementos you control, the more you can destroy. And then obviously the idea is it can flood your flood your graveyard with different names that you might need for your combined creation. Which is why we are also playing one of the Twin Dragon. So you can actually loop the Twin Dragon round if you need to, which is why you can send it, you can summon it, but more times than not, what you'll do is you actually send another copy of the Combined Creation or the Creation King, which is why you're playing 2 of it, and then you just shuffle it back in and you go again. So if you wanted to, you could play 2 of this, but I felt it was more effective to play 2 of this and then 1 of this. But again, like I said, you've got the ways to kind of float them back if you need to. We've then got the one Guardian Chimera. Now the reason for this one is because you've got a quick effect to actually make this using the Memento fusion spell. And if you didn't want to make this, you have the option to make in anything else as well. But I quite like the idea of non-target destruction plus drawing as well, which is really quite effective. And then for the Link monsters, of course, we've got the one Cross Sheep. So you're going to be able to fuse them more consistently now. So Cross Sheep can actually bring you back your Mementos. And then you can start a chain again the next turn should you want to. IP Masquerena, alongside Moon of the Closed Heavens, which can also then let you get into an Underworld Goddess. I still quite like this. I'm not putting SP in here, but if you wanted to and you've got the budget to, you can very easily add SP into this. I kind of wanted to try and stay away from it, just to try and make this as, okay, I've built up the Memento core because I picked them up nice and cheaply. I don't want to be spending 70 quid for an SP Little Knight. What else can I play? And that's why I quite like the Moon of the Closed Heavens into the Underworld Goddess, because being able to use 2 of your opponent's monsters to kind of jump up into this can be very, very important and very damaging. Then got the one, the Dark Charmer. Nightmare Unicorn is your option for SP Little Knight, so that's how you can alternate around with it. Then we've got Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. And then for your XYZ lineup, we've got the one, Goblin Biker, Big Gabunga. So this is the one that you get to detach material from this. So you'd search out the spell card, your Grand Entrance, detach material off of this, and then obviously the Grand Entrance will let you search and summon down the Goblin, Memento Goblin. And then for the last 3 Ls, we do play the one Gossip Shadow. If you're worried about a specific hand trap, you can very easily overlay both your Teratops into the Gossip Shadow. And then that means that no matter what your opponent plays on your Bone Creature, whether it be your Bone Warrior or your Darkblade, sorry, or your Anger Witch, you have the ability to protect it. And it lets you protect from Nibiru because you will go into Nibiru territory very quickly. And then, of course, you've got both of these that can then be ranked up into a Down of the Magician and then into a Zeus. So that's why I'm saying if you wanted to cut the engine completely, this gives you 4 slots that opens up your extra deck. So that can then become your SP Little Knight. That can become a Typhon if you wanted to. It can come an Access Code Talker. You do have loads of different options. What you need to remember is as soon as you put one of these monsters on the board, which is the one big clash of the deck, that when you use your Teratop engine, as soon as you put a Teratop on the board, and no matter what rank 3 you do, unless you're getting rid of it and using it as Link Follower or anything else or destroying them, your Tatsu can't special summon itself down. So it's one of the ones where it's either you open up Tatsu, go down your full combo, or you open up your Teratop and protect your combo. But you can still play without the Tatsu, you just kind of go down a different route of play. So that's it for the entire main deck and of course the extra deck. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that all-important combo so you know exactly where you want to start and how you're going to end. So we'll be back in... Chucking sneeze over. We'll be back in a second. So the 1 card combo is going to look very familiar as it starts with Dark Blade yet again. So you're going to start off by getting Dark Blade to the board. You're going to use this effect that during the main phase you get to destroy a Memento monster you control, and if you do, special summon at level 3 or lower, Memento from the deck. So you're going to destroy Dark Blade, and this will then get you access to Anger Witch. Anger Witch on normal or special will allow you to add a Memento from deck to the hand, and you're going to add your Tatsu. You then special summon down your Tatsu, and now you'll be able to use Tatsu's effect to tribute it off in order to send 3 from deck to the grave, being your Sleepy, your Goblin, and your Mace, equal to or lower to its level, exactly level 5. You'll now use the onboard effect of your Anger Witch to destroy a Memento monster you control, and if you do, special summon a targeted Memento in the graveyard. So the one you're going to want to target will be the Mace, so you're going to tribute off your Anger Witch, and you're going to summon back the Mace. In doing so, Mace now has the ability that during your main phase you can destroy a Memento monster you control, and if you do, add a Memento card from the deck to your hand except itself. So destroy the Mace and then add your Memento Fusion. Because one of your monsters was destroyed this turn, you can actually use Memento's Fusion's second effect to spin the monsters from the graveyard back into the deck. So you're going to want to recycle some of your cards in order to get into the brand new Memento Fusion. So your combined king, or creation king to be exact. So the 3 you're going to want to summon back will be or spin back will be your Mace, your Tatsu, and your Dark Blade. You want to keep these 3 in rotation as you're actually going to be able to utilize your Goblin and your Sleepy more so throughout this combo. So this all now resolves. Then you're going to be obviously, of course, trigger off the Creation King. So this one allows you to send Memento monsters from the deck and, of course, extra deck to the graveyard in order to kind of just fill up your graveyard for your combined creation. So you're going to want to send a Creation King, you're going to want to send a Gatic, and you're going to want to send the combined creation itself as well. And then you're going to be able to start utilizing their graveyard effects. You will now trigger Gatic as it was sent from deck to the graveyard. This will summon itself back and then trigger its effect on summon to add you back the Sheep to your hand. You'll now be able to use Sheep's effect to summon itself down, and then use its effect to fusion summon using the Gatic and itself in order to get you into your Twin Dragon. You'll now be able to use your Twin Dragon's effect to destroy itself in order to add the Horned Dragon and of course the Mace that you have newly shuffled back into our hand. This will now trigger Twin Dragon's graveyard effect, summoning back the brand new Sleepy, which is why it's so important to have this card in rotation. We're now going to banish the Conqueror that we sent, which is why we sent the Conqueror, and this will then allow us to add the field spell from the deck to the hand. You're going to obviously activate the field spell, and then this is where you're going to continue to cook. You'll now use the Memento Fusion graveyard effect to banish it in order to destroy the sheep on the board, and this will then allow you to add a Memento spell or trap. So you can go directly for your Cranium Burst, or of course you can go for Fracture Dance. You can also go for Bone Party if you want the ability to take control of one of your opponent's monsters, because you'll basically loop back the Mace so you get access to it later on and have another Memento on the board. In this exact example, what we're going to do is we're going to add the Fracture Dance, and then we'll be dealing with Cranium Burst later on. So now obviously after resolution of that one, we're going to be able to trigger 2 more effects, the Destruction effect of the Sleepy and of course the effect of the Memento field spell. The Memento field spell will allow us to bring back Goblin from the deck as it is, from the graveyard as it is a lower level, and then the Sheep is going to allow us to send the Cranium Burst or of course the Bone Party from the deck to the grave, which is important because the field spell will allow you to reset that during the end phase. We're now going to special summon down the Horned Dragon from our hand, and we're going to go into any Link 2 you want to. Obviously, the most effective one will, of course, be IP, which is why you might want to consider Bone Party over Fracture Dance, or, of course, over the Cranium Burst, because then that will give you an additional monster on the board, but it really depends on what you're trying to achieve in Zen board. I feel setting up your trap cards will be more effective in a defensive type of format. We're now going to be summoning back the combined creation from our graveyard that we sent earlier on in the combo by shuffling 5 back. So you can send back your Goblin, you can send back your Horned Dragon, your Sleepy, your Twin Dragon, and your Gatic, leaving Witch in there just in case you did decide to go for Bone Party. So all of those get recycled back into the main deck, good success, and now you have the ability to set the Fracture Dance while also holding onto the Mace in the hand. So now we move to the end phase. The field spell will now trigger to set back the last card you have in your graveyard, being the Cranium Burst. And as you're ending the turn, of course, you've got your combined creation, you've got IP Masquerena, you've got the ability of Mace, that during your opponent's main phase, if you control a Memento combined creation, which you do, you have the quick effect to discard this card to target a face-up monster your opponent tries and take control of it. You've obviously got the Fracture Dance, you've got the quick effect that at this exact moment in time, you'll be able to pop 2 cards because you've got your 2 Mementos right here. Obviously, Bone Party will bring 1 back for you as well. You've obviously got the Cranium Burst as well. So Memento monsters your opponent can attack and must attack. The Memento monster you control with the highest attack will, of course, be your combined creation. And then when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, except during the damage step, you get to target Memento, combine creation you control, and it loses 1,000 attack, and if it does, you negate the activated effect. So with Cranium Burst, you could very easily put this in defense, and that's just a massive wall that your opponent needs to deal with. But keep in mind, you've also got the ability to Snatch Steal, which is really, really effective. And on top of that as well, you've also got Fracture Dance, that if you control Memento monster, you get to target an additional card on the field and destroy it. And if you control Combine Creation, you can destroy it one more card on the field. And then when an attack is declared involving your Memento monster, so on the crackback, and an opponent's monster, you get to banish this card from the graveyard. All monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So obviously you've got the ability to pop 2 off of the back of this. You've got the ability to pop multiple off of the back of this. You've got the ability to negate up to 5 monster effects off of the back of this. And once this has 0 attack, you can very easily use IP to link this off into a Nightmare Unicorn. You've obviously got the mace that would be a discard to Snatch Steal. You've got so many different options from this combo. It's absolutely insane. So that's it for the entire Memento combo. As you saw, it is very direct. You need to send the correct levels. You need to make sure that you haven't really opened up specific ones as well, which it can get a little bit tricky. But that's just kind of where you will adapt your plays depending on what else you open up in your hand. This is basically just to show you the borderline combo that you're going to need in order to kind of utilize the brand new cards and how they all kind of synergize and work together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.